are going live in 5, 4, 3, 2. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. And it is the end of the world as we know it. And you know something? I feel fine. So, before we get into local events and what's going on, I just want to say that we got back from our drill weekend. We left early, like 3 a.m. Friday morning, and got back Sunday evening, yesterday evening, and it was probably a good. It was a really good drill weekend for us. We did what we call or is known as a staff ride. So you go and you get some historical context for like battles that happened here. So we originally planned we had to create three different choices for our staff ride, and of course, Big Green Weenie, the army, denied all of them, or not really. So we wanted to go to Normandy to go, through the Battle of Normandy, D-Day, and that would have been our optimal goal. That would have cost us about 50 grand to do that, and we got denied by that. They attempted to do their best to get us to go there, but then we were going to do, it was Vicksburg, right? Vicksburg was our backup, and then it was Shiloh, not Shiloh, excuse me, Honey Springs here in Oklahoma, which is a Civil War battle that was fought here in Oklahoma.
That's right.
So none of those got approved, but they sent us to Shiloh, and Shiloh is like the first. It was the first major conflict between the North and the South, and we learned, got to learn a whole lot. And it was like the largest casualty rate at that point. Like there was 23,000 casualties at the Battle of Shiloh, and it's where Grant took his first real command. Like he took Fort Henry and Fort Donelson over there on the Western Front in Tennessee, and then this was the Confederacy's response to that. They came up and were trying to kick them off of what they call Pittsburgh Landing. The Battle of Shiloh was at Pittsburgh Landing. And, yeah, heavy losses, heavy casualties. It was just a crapshoot over there. So Confederates caught the Yanks off guard, and then they regrouped day two and came back, and Grant pushed them right back to Corinth, Mississippi. Mm-hmm. So very cool. We got to go out there and check out the battlefield. You got those cannons?
I do.
Pulled up, yeah. So
let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah. So I mean, it was really neat. It wasn't like a big reenactors thing since it's a national park, and they want to preserve the battlefield as best they can. So they don't want big, giant, battalions and brigades of men and reenactors walking around out there. So they preserved the battlefields, but they brought out some cannons to shoot. They had some horse riders, and it's really neat to see like. So if you're at military, you march in formation, you do bout right, half right face, all those things. Well, these guys, I didn't realize that horse brigades did that too. Like, so they had these horses, doing a right face, about face. They were, doing marching steps formations for cavalry horses. It was really neat to see that. So
I've got it pulled up. You want me to play it with sound or no sound?
Yeah, you can play it with sound. You might as well hear I'm sure my phone video won't do justice to how loud the cannons were, but it's still really neat.
Absolutely. Playing it now. All that smoke coming up from it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. It was neat. There was like 62 cannons that were firing into the Grant's brigades, the Yankees. So, yeah, it was really neat. So it was a cool experience. It was a good time. One of the better drill weekends we've had because you're treated like a human being while you're there instead of getting yelled at and disciplined the whole time. So that was nice. So that being said, we'll kind of push into Owasso stuff. So right now, it's currently 50 degrees outside, and we have a high of 80 today. So enjoy this nice weather. It's feeling more like spring than it did winter the last week. So enjoy this warm weather and enjoy some time outside with your family after work, because this is the weather for it. This is what it's all about. Now, traffic conditions are fair. It's like there's no real traffic conditions at all, really. Even at 76th Street, that horrible, choke point for us going into Tulsa. So there's no real traffic. So if you haven't left yet and you're commuting to work, congratulations. You are going to enjoy your quick ride into work. So with that being said, in local events and things happening here in the Owasso area, what's on the chamber and what's going on with the Owasso Wisdoms calendar?
I will let you know. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up my little list here. All right. On the Chamber of Commerce side of events, there's only one thing happening this week, and that is business over breakfast and popcorn and perks this week, and that is on Wednesday, the 10th.
Yeah.
So that's about it on the Chamber of Commerce side of things.
Good deal.
Let me check here on Owassoisms. Owassoisms, which I don't really think that this is going to be, this won't be really till this weekend, but Jazzy's Reading Adventures, and I'm not sure what this is. Let's have a look. It says here, Jazzy's Reading, it looks like it's Jazzy is hosting a special Never Read Alone event for kids. Kids are invited to come and read or with a special four-legged friend. So it's bring a pet to come read with.
Okay, interesting.
And it's on Saturday, April 13th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And that's all there is this week.
What is Jazzy's? Like, is it like a library? Is it?
It's a dog.
So Jazzy is a dog.
Yeah, it's a dog. Jazzy's hostess. This is Jazzy, the Great Pernice, is on the move to promote children's literacy through "Dog is Good for Good Never for Goods Never Read Alone" campaign. So
okay,
that's what it is.
Great Pyrenees. Where's it at?
That's what I'm trying to find.
Is it like at the Owasso Library?
Location is Needful Things Market, which is 12701 East 86th Place North, Owasso, Oklahoma.
Okay, so Needy Things.
Yeah, Needy Things Market is where it's at.
So go read with the Great Pyrenees, Jazzy.
And there's a couple others, Cheyenne and Winnie, and I don't know what type of dogs they are.
Yeah, so the market.
There's at least going to be 3 other dogs there, unless, kids who, of course, bring their own dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. So go take your kids if you like animals and you want your kids to read more. They can be petting a dog while you sit there and read to your kid, or vice versa. Your kids can read and you pet the dog.
And as on the Chamber and Owassoisms, that's it for this week.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so there's nothing going on this week other than that. Said our OKC Thunder actually won against the Charlotte Hornets yesterday.
Let's go.
It was 121 to 118. So we'll see where we are in our standings now, which I haven't checked, like I said, since we've been gone for the last 3 days.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. Well, there has been a little change up. We're still ranked in 3rd, unfortunately.
Darn.
But we are a close 3rd, and the Timberwolves and the Nuggets are now officially tied for 1st with the exact same amount of wins and exact same amount of losses. 54 wins, 24 losses for both teams. They are both on a win streak of 1 right now.
Well, so are we.
Exactly. But remember, we're 1 game down from them. So we have... Actually, no. Actually, take that back. We're even now. We have 53 wins and 25 losses. So unless one of these two teams loses, we're gonna stay behind them unless one of these teams loses again. So we're kind of up a creek right now.
Yeah. Okay.
But 1 win streak for each team. The only other team that's kind of behind us right now is the Clippers, but they're 3 wins behind us, but they're on a 3-win streak right now. So.
Okay. Cool.
That's all we got for the local events going on today. We'll get back to, I guess, global or national news.
Yeah, national news. So, nationally, I guess a little bit. So you had that one earthquake that occurred in Taiwan, which was huge, but I guess not a lot of people died because they were commuting back and forth to work at the time of the earthquake. So that's good for them. Now, I guess New Jersey had their first earthquake in ages. So that's interesting. And apparently the epicenter was right near Trump's golf course. So that's pretty interesting. But
so liberals think it's the end of the world now, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's what's funny about this whole thing. I mean, pull up that article posted by who is this? It's the millennial, or who's the
who posted this article?
Yeah.
I am
post-millennial. So it's the post-millennial posted this article. And so folks, a New Jersey senator or Senate runner, like she's not in the Senate yet, she's running for the Senate or to attain a Senate seat. Her name is where'd she go? Christina Amir Khalil.
Yeah.
So this woman tweeted, and like I said, this is the exact tweet. I experienced my first earthquake in New Jersey. We never get earthquakes. The climate crisis is real.
Yeah, I have that pulled up right now.
So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the people who are running for Senate in the Democratic Party. This is the nonsense that they believe. I don't know how anyone with a functioning brain can assume that there is a link between the climate
and tectonic plates underneath the Earth's crust.
The Earth's crust. That's unbelievable. I mean, the climate crisis is real because of earthquakes. This is insane. The fact that there are people out there that believe things like this and that they're running for positions of power in the U.S. government. I mean, if this woman wins, this would be shocking. Now, maybe this is just a publicity stunt. Maybe she knows she's being done, but I don't know. I don't know why would you even make this post if you're trying to make yourself stand out as a serious candidate for office or the Senate. So this is what the woke ideology, the brain deadness of the left, like, as long as you are in lockstep, you're in the cult. It's like, well, everything's correlated. So the climate, the earth, the communism, socialism versus capitalism, it's all related. It's all all these things are connected. This is what they believe. It said, as long as they're saying the right stuff, they're going to be protected by the Democratic cult. So, I don't know, everybody. This is just, it's crazy. It's scary that someone like that would make that silly of a post. And how could you think that those were connected things? How?
You got me. But obviously they do.
So, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, the epicenter was near Trump's golf course in New Jersey, so that's interesting. He must be right over the fault line. So, interesting stuff for New Jersey to be experiencing. Now, we also have that eclipse today. And again, there's all that hullabaloo about the eclipse and, conspiracies about the government, what the government's doing, conspiracies about they're already putting out national emergencies at Niagara Falls. What's going on, and I guess a CNN reporter said something on live TV going, yeah, we got the eclipse tomorrow and the earthquake. So a lot of people are going, if there's an earthquake tomorrow, CNN knows something. So we're talking about whether or not, so they were talking about space lasers that the Russians have that can shoot holes in people's brains. That came out on April 1st. And just sounded like literally an April Fool's article, but it wasn't. It was stuff that the national media was running with. And again, now you have these conspiracy theorists going online going, oh, okay, so if the news is saying that there's going to be a solar eclipse and an earthquake tomorrow, does the government or a foreign power have a way to have a device that can cause earthquakes? And now they can weaponize earthquakes against the U.S. population? I don't know, everybody. I mean, I guess it's within the realm of science fiction possibility, but I don't know how you do that. So there's just a lot of conspiracy, a lot of craziness going on, a lot of people reading in religious text and stuff into this solar eclipse. Like, no man shall know the day or the hour. So don't get hyped up on all this conspiracy nonsense. There's just things that have been in motion for a long time. Don't worry about things you can't control. Just go about your day. Do the things you got to do to provide for yourself and your family and be a good person and do the best you can do. Don't worry about the things that are completely out of your control. So that's what you got to focus on. Focus on yourself. Focus on your family. Focus on making yourself the best version of yourself. Don't worry about this nonsense going on with the eclipse, or don't worry about this stuff going on with the earthquakes. These tectonic plates have been shifting and moving for literally millennia. And a lot of people, I remember there was a TU professor that came out and said that all these people were going, oh, it's fracking and it's all this stuff that's causing the earthquakes here in Oklahoma. It's not. Like, literally, a geologist at TU was like, this has to do with millions and millions of years of pressure building up on these tectonic plates and them shifting and moving according to how they've been moving over the past millennia. Humans we're not a threat to the Earth. We're not, we're a tiny little blip in the span of history. Yes. So don't worry about it, folks. It's all. This is social media algorithm manipulation. I mean, obviously, there's been conspiracy theories and stuff forever, but now we're all inundated with it 24 hours a day, and the population is twice as big as it was a long time ago. So more people are getting it, more people are seeing it, and getting freaked out by it all. Don't get freaked out by it all.
And two, our social media algorithms
are
weaponized outrage and hysteria over cool, calm,
feel-good
collected.
Stories.
Exactly. Feel-good stories, being cool, calm, and collected. That stuff doesn't sell. What sells is, it's the end of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's just the way we're wired. We're wired. We all have a natural inclination towards negative because, again, I'm trying to think of this. The way you look at it is, I remember I did a ritual one time, or not a ritual. It was just kind of like an expose about life, and you're on this like, as they're talking to you, you're on this flag that's basically all black, and there's a little bit of white, and they go, the life is blocked out by the darkness. It's everywhere, but the little bit of light stands out because it's worth seeing, it's worth looking at it. But the darkness overshadows everything. But the light stands out because it's meaningful. It has meaning, and most of our lives are going to be rough and difficult, and you've got to be strong enough to handle that.
Yeah. Just think about it with relations to work. No one really ever really likes to work.
Yeah.
And working takes up like 90% of your day. So the little bit of time that you actually get to spend with your family, friends, whatever, that
stands
is
out.
cherishable.
The joy, yes.
Exactly.
So that's what you got to explain to your kids and what you got to do for yourself. Like, you've got to work hard. You've got to work diligently. And again, going into just our mindsets as humans, the dark is always going to stand out more. Like, even for chicks, it's like a traumatic experience will stand out way more than any good experience you've ever had in your life because it's a survival mechanism. It's like, oh, that was horrible. I never want to experience anything like that again. So you're going to, again, remember the times that you got embarrassed in school as a little kid. Remember those awful experiences you had where you got hurt or broke your arm. It's like your brain has not let you forget that to this day. Do you remember all the happy and joyous times? Like every single one, does it stand out to the point where, it's almost just this foggy memory where it's like you just kind of have fleeting feelings about something good that happened when you were a kid, or it's like the feeling you get when you're with your parents, or what your mom did something nice for you. It's not that stands out. Like, you will remember it, and but it's like this. It's what I call brain fog, memory fog. Like, you remember it, and you cherish that memory, but you don't memorize every second and detail of it. But for a horrible thing that happened to you, like I said, again, you got picked on or bullied in school, that memory stands out forever, and it's like you remember every vivid detail of it. It's like if you got into
a survival mechanism.
Yeah.
I don't want this to ever happen again.
Exactly. Car wreck. You got assaulted or beat up. You remember that. You will remember that forever. Even if you don't want to, even if you try to forget, you're going to remember that because your body is like I said, again, went into survival mode. It's like you have to remember this so you can do everything you can to avoid this exact scenario ever again. Period. So keep that in mind as you go through life. Like, again, you're getting, again, especially if you're perpetually on social media, you are going to get what I call just algorithmically manipulated into being hyper aware, being hyper sensitive to all this stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, what if this is a real thing? What if this is the cataclysmic event that will destroy the world? Oh my gosh. Like, that's what the media wants. That's what the algorithms want. They want you perpetually online, perpetually scrolling, perpetually learning more and more about these dumb situations that literally have zero impact on your life.
That's why I really like our drill weekends, is turn off the phone,
yeah,
not seeing what's going on. All you're just focused on is what's going on in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're literally focused on one thing. We got to get through this weekend. We got to do everything we got to do so we can get back home and spend time with our friends and family. The military is a great thing I enjoy it. for all the bad times that you have in the Army, they all stand out as like, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I did that. And so many people are so anti-military. Like, I look at a lot of the comments on our stories that we do, like on our shorts or on our just our videos about us sharing our stories about basic training, our stories about being in the Army. And so many people go, I'm so glad my dad talked me out of joining the Army. Or I'm so glad that I didn't waste my life doing that. Like, it is not a waste of time or life. Unless you just know exactly what you want to do with your life. If you know exactly the path you're going to go. Yeah. And that's rare for most people. And even most people who know exactly what they want to do might not achieve that goal. Like Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs, great example of this. He goes, he wanted to be a builder like his grandpa, but he had zero talent for it. And he spent a lot of his early years just forging away, working hard, doing stuff that he was not good at until he became the voice of Dirty Jobs and got that show and became the voice of The Deadliest Catch. The guy lived his life. I mean, Tim Allen, a good comedian, and right. I mean, the guy was smuggling cocaine and doing all kinds of stuff until he finally became a comedian in like his mid-30s. Mm-hmm. So you never know. Like, if you think you know what you want to do, then you go and do it for a couple of years, and you're like, oh.
Honestly, at this point, I think joining the military is a better option for kids than going to college, because at least the military, you're getting paid. It's not that much, but at least you're getting paid, and you can get free college for it.
Yeah.
Versus going into college, going into massive amounts of debt for something for a career that you're probably not even going to get into.
Yeah, and
after you graduate.
A lot of kids who go into the military is like, I'm going to go to the military and then I'm going to go to college. Like, yeah, you can quit, and then all of a sudden, it's like they go to the military for a couple of years. Like, I really like this. I think I might have a career in this. Or people go, and it's like, I served my country, and now I'm going to go to college and do that, and like if they get bored, they can go back to the military service, so they can go back and commission.
Or
there's a million avenues.
If they go to the active, go to reserve, go to the guard, whatever you want to do.
Now, I'm not trying to say rah rah everybody join the military, because it's not for everybody, for sure. But it is overall, I'd say it's a positive thing. You know, it's what I was telling a lot of people this weekend. I was like, I do this job for free. You know, just serving the country and doing this stuff. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's there's a lot of suck, but you got to embrace it. Just like embracing the stuff you don't want to do in life. If you want to be a good reader, you know, if you don't like reading, you got to read to get better at it. It's like, you know, if you're not good at a sport and you hate doing conditioning drills, you got to do conditioning drills to get better. So there's a lot of things you got to do in life that you don't want to do. Again, the darkness, the stuff that nobody sees. And then you do the light, the stuff that everyone sees, where it's like, oh, cool. So just keep that in mind as you go through life today, and don't worry about the solar eclipses, and don't mind yourself about the earthquakes. I mean, there was a picture of somebody from New Jersey that goes, my apartment before the earthquake, and then it was my apartment after the earthquake, and the only thing that happened was there was a red Solo cup spilled on the floor. That was it. And he goes, so that's what we're talking about. Like, it has that little of an impact on your life, you know. So don't worry about that stuff. We're fine. Go and enjoy your day. Prosper, go out, work hard, earn a good living, and then come back home and enjoy the time with your family. Enjoy that life. Don't let the craziness of social media and the news media take joy out of your life. You can be upset by the things you see, but you know, that's why your vote matters. That's why we got to elect people into office that are good, that are going to do right by us. So remember that. So I hope everyone here has a wonderful day. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. So that's all we've got for you today. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.